Good morning. It's Monday morning. Good morning. Monday morning, 45 degrees, 8:24 anti-meridian, and it is a little overcast. Excuse me, today. And whatever. But the important thing is, as of yesterday, I have my life back a bit. Spent, as you know, I'm sure, the last, I don't know, what, week and a half, Friday of the week before last to Saturday, I've been doing movie stuff, I guess for Christmas movie stuff. And yesterday was my first day off in 2 weeks. And I did a good deal of sleeping. And did a little painting. And then we went and had dinner with Jen Murray and Mike Warker up in Carlisle. And now I'm going into the studio to try to remember what it is I have to do that I didn't get to do for the last week. I know a lot of stuff is piled up. Commercials need to be cut. Breaks need to be re-edited for AG Today. Blah, blah, blah. But last night, a great plot was hatched with Jen Murray, Cindy, Mike Barker, and myself. And that plot is a 24-hour pledge drive, a la Jerry Lewis's telethon, around leading into the anniversary of the battle. Be a live stream. So we're going to start planning it now because it's 24 hours. It's a lot of content to fill. But we don't think that people really, especially locally, know what we do and know how serious we are about doing it. And so we figure, well, if I stay up for 24 hours to the point of insanity, maybe then people will realize you're serious and become patrons over at patreon.com. Also, it's crazy enough, it just might work. So we got to start putting together a team for that. Figure out how that should be fun. But as you can see, we're always coming up with new ideas to make learning about the battle accessible, educational, and entertaining all at the same time. I don't know how the hell we are going to pull it off, but we'll see. How was your weekend, folks? How was your weekend? Good morning, Twins Boy from Minneapolis. How you doing? Good to have you on. I don't know if I recognize your name, so if this is your first time, welcome to one of our live insanity chats. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, David. Irwin, PA. Where's that? Ain't never heard of Irwin. Matt, we usually don't see you standing up. You looked like you were towering over Bo. How tall are you? And he. Bo is 4'3", and I am 5'6". No, I am 6'1". But I was wearing boots, so I might have been 6'2". I guess you're talking about the video of the panel. And Bo, I would say Bo's, 4'3", 4'5", somewhere around there. Now, I don't know, I would guess he's 5'8", like average height. Here's the funny thing I've found. Most actors are small. They're short people. Not short people, they're not short people, but they're average height. They're not as tall as you think. And like Bruce Boxleitner is 6'2", so he's a tall guy. Jake Busey's a tall guy. But everybody else is pretty average height. They're roughly around, I'm guessing 5'8". I don't know. I never said to Bo, how tall are you? But that's my guess. I hate when I get a song in my head. Good morning, Donald. Marcia, good morning. How you doing? Have a great day. Great pictures at the movie premiere. Did you meet Amelia Spicer? If I did, I don't know her by name. Amelia, that doesn't sound familiar to me. But, I meet a lot of people, I never get their names, and even when I do get their names, I forget them. So, I could have, Marcia, I could have. Barbara says, my dad and brothers are all over 6 feet. I got my mother's short jeans. Her short jeans, aren't they just called shorts? Oh, you mean the genetic code. Gotcha. So it's, so now kind of, okay, so we had the Christmas festival this weekend, which was really neat. We went to that a little bit. It's nice to walk around, see a lot of stuff going on. People really seem to dig it, and it's good fun. What else? What else did we do? Oh, went up to the seminary just to check out, the action with the movie. And man, I mean, like every showing was sold out, and people were very enthusiastic to see it. I popped my head in when I was up there. There were 2 showings going on simultaneously, so I popped my head in both of them just to kind of get a sense of the audience and how they're receiving the movie. And they seemed to be liking it. They were laughing or cooing and oohing and ahhing at all the same spots that they did during the premiere. So that's good. It's nice to see the excitement. It's nice to see that for Bo. I know he's been wanting to make a film lately, and it's a tough business. And you go a while without working, you start getting worried. And so this kind of was a godsend for him, I think, or at least he seems to feel that way. I don't know his, situation. But, so it's good. It's good to see that there's an enthusiastic response to it. Although someone sent me a review from IMDb that was, of course, negative, but funny, I hate to say. And then we, so a friend of mine sent it to me, and I was like, first of all, what did this guy come to the theater thinking that, because he was at the premiere, apparently. I'm guessing his wife forced him to go, and this was his way of, or who knows what makes trolls troll, but anyway, he totally aired the movie, and but I wonder what people, when you're going to see a Christmas movie, like a Hallmarky Christmas movie, what are you expecting to find? Are you expecting to find Citizen Kane, or are you expecting to find what? I don't know what they're expecting to find. So, but he had some really good lines. But then we looked at his screen name and kind of looked through his other posts, and every single one of them is negative. So he's a professional troll, which means you can't take what he says very seriously, because all he does is negative comments. But very funny writer. He was I don't know. It made me laugh reading it. But anyway, so now that the Christmas festival is over, the next big thing to hit Gettysburg is our Christmas party next Saturday, this coming Saturday, actually. This Saturday, as they say. And we've got 85 people signed up. That's awesome. There's still room for more, so if you're going to be in town or you haven't heard about it and this is your first time hearing about it, go to dressinggettysburg.com, go to the events tab, find the Christmas party, and sign up. And it's free to go to it. We just need to have a head count for Lincoln Social, formerly Saberhood. So that's where it's going to be. It's going to be at Lincoln Social in the back. We've got a distillery and a brewery. So Liquid Art was the previous bar runners, but they went out of business, which is a shame. I remember when they started, it was called Roy Pitts Brewing, and I met the two guys when they were, just operating out of a van, going around to local restaurants trying to sell their stuff, and they, it was nice to see that they did well and lasted over a decade, and it's sad to see that things didn't work out for them. But anyway, I don't have the names. I have them, but I don't have them in my memory of the brewery and the distillery. But they're from, one's from Mercersburg, and the other one I think is from, no, it's not. I don't remember where the other one's from. I don't want to say. But yeah, so there will be libations, and then you can go around and, get whatever food you want. This is like a little gathering, we're all deciding to meet here. So you're paying your own bill, just like last year. Perhaps if we ever hit 1,000 paying patrons, we will pay for catering and just do it as a listener appreciation thing. And not try to recoup costs, but just do it as a thank you. But we're a long way from there. So Patreon has started this new thing where you can now be a free member. You don't get the content unless I make it free. And I do. There are certain shows that I do make free, like all this month. The new shows that are coming out are going to be free until January 1st, because they're all books that we think you should get for your library. And so we're putting those out. But so now you can, now they mix the free followers in with the paid followers for the count. And frankly, I don't care. It's not that I don't care, but if it says I have 527 followers, okay, well, how many of them are actually putting a roof over my head? And it's not 527. It's not even 500 yet. So, and then on the phone app, it doesn't give you a breakdown of the two. I have to go onto a desktop and pull it up and see the breakdown. So I don't know how many paying patrons I have unless I go on a desktop, which who's going to do that? So anyway, they're doing new things on Patreon, which is basically kind of turning it into its own social media platform. And so I'm kind of thinking, I don't really do Facebook as much. Eric used to do the Facebook page. I hate Facebook. I've kind of stopped with Instagram because it's a lot of time, and there's, you get nothing out of it. And my time is very slim. I don't have a lot of time available to be messing around for things that aren't going to somehow pay off for me. So I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to, encourage people to go and join Patreon, even free. because that'll be kind of Patreon and YouTube are going to be the two platforms I use to put content out. And of course, wherever you listen to podcasts, the audio shows are always going to be there. That's not changing. But as these platforms evolve or stagnate or whatever, we'll change accordingly. So I could put any kind of post that I would put up on YouTube. Facebook or Instagram. I could do over on Patreon, and free followers can see them. And maybe since they're already there, they'll convert to a member. And that's the thinking there. But who knows? But this cost of everything going up, it's not fun. It's not funny. All right, let's see. Barbara says, yeah, bummer to have till next year to see it on TV. Yeah, so they didn't finish the movie until, I think it was November 3rd or 6th or something. That's far too late to get it on TV this year. Those deals are made long before fall and the holiday season. It's only... amateur content creators like podcasters and stuff that do things hand to mouth. Usually, or at least the smart ones don't do things hand to mouth. They do them, well in advance of release. And that's certainly what the pros do on television and radio and all that other stuff is, what you're doing long before you even start promoting it for the public to listen to. So, most likely. And in fact, I just watched a local news report from when they were filming in January, and in the report they said it will not be available on television or widely available until Christmas of 2024. So that's been the plan all along. They knew that. History. Kevin says, is it your Christmas tree picture in the feed opening? No, that's Eisenhower's. What do you think? I live like an old person? Look at the furniture in that place. No, that is the Eisenhower living room. We took a tour. When was that? Wednesday, I think. And that was how they set up their living room. History Underground says the negative reviews are always the funniest. They really are. And, here's a couple things, and tell me if you agree with me, JD. Here's a couple things that I find funny about them. One, they're trying to hurt your feelings, right? Two, in doing so, they're so blinded by their hatred that they show who they really are. And by that I mean they show their psychosis. They show their mental illness in the way they... First of all, the fact that they're doing it. I mean, seriously, think about it. Especially in the case of, like what you put out, JD, or some of what I put out is free, right? Like, you don't get... I don't get trolls who are paying. Patrons, the comments they leave, even if it's critical, they're not assholes about it. They're like, this is all good, I love what you do, but maybe next time do this or that, and that's perfectly valid. And even a lot of the things that the trolls are saying could be perfectly valid, but it's the old thing, it's not what you're saying, it's how you're saying it that makes it fall on deaf ears. But they really tell you more about themselves than they tell you about yourself. And so once you realize that, and once you realize that these are pathetic people, you have to laugh at them. They're probably in many ways jealous because they would rather be doing what you're doing. But they can't for whatever reason. and their only escape from their mundane life that they don't like. They'd never admit that though, because then that would mean they don't like the people in their lives, or at least that's how they would take it. But anyway, they don't. The only escape they get is when they slink down into their basement lair and turn on the computer, or sit on the couch, ignoring their family on their phone, and then they go through and then they leave, nasty comments under an anonymous name. And I always refer to South Park because those guys are the best at hitting the nail on the head. But there's like a several episode arc, I think it's like a whole season really, where Kyle's dad, who's a lawyer during the day, sneaks into his office at night with a glass of wine and trolls and says, nasty things about people who are in town. And nobody knows who it is, and it drives everybody crazy. And that's what I picture when I picture these people that do that stuff. And so you have to laugh at them because they're funny. They're not respectable people. Barbara says, I never got into Citizen Kane. To be honest with you, I didn't either. The only thing I think is great about Citizen Kane is the cinematography. And you got to, take it in the context of its day, I guess, and understand the historical value of it there. But yeah, I never really got into it either. I wish I could get there for the party. Yeah, Chris, too bad you can't. Will pie be served? Punch and pie, Mitchell. Punch pie. And by the way, Santa Claus is going to be on AG today. It's our last show. It's our Christmas show. Santa will be on there to take phone calls from the kids, find out what they want for Christmas. So Mitchell, I know you got kids. I know you watch the show. Have them call in and tell Santa what they want for Christmas, and maybe then you will get it for them. Kevin says, Barbara, will you be at the Christmas party on Saturday? Good question, Babs. Will you be there? James says, morning, Matt. The Antietam illumination is awesome. If you ever get a chance, it's a must-see. I know. I didn't know that they were doing it until the night they were doing it. And so I did not attend. But I've wanted to go down there. They do a lot of those, and I always hear they're really nice, but I've yet to do one. Spent the weekend in Harper's Ferry volunteering with the Park Service during the Christmas 1864 program. That's cool. Ty Webb, a free patron is literally an oxymoron. A patron is someone who supports a person, organization financially. That's true, Ty. Great point. I think their thinking is if you have free followers, eventually, I don't understand being a free follower of someone that puts out stuff behind a paywall. Maybe it's just to show support, in the numbers. But why don't you want to get what it is if you support them, if you like them, why wouldn't you want to get the material? So that's why we put out free stuff once in a while, is to give them an idea of what they're missing. It's a business, and people can't seem to allow people to have businesses when it comes to certain things like this. I love the people that, are like, well, you only do it for the money. Okay. Do you only do your job for the money, or do you love McDonald's? Yeah, I want to make a living doing something like this, and this is what I'm doing. And, but that's not true that you only do it for the money, because no one makes money when they start. So you have to do it for more than the money. And the odds of you making a meager living, a supplemental income off of something like this is so slim that if you think that someone can set out to make money doing this without the backing of like a network or, someone who's, got budget, because that's really the key. You could do it if you have good marketing. But if you're going to do it organically, like we did, there's no guarantee. It took me 10 friggin' years to make a cent off of a podcast. 10 years of trying to figure out how to do it. So those people are funny. Again, they're funny like the people that troll movie reviews. Like, you can't take them seriously. They're like the JFK conspiracy theorists, you know. They accuse everybody else of doing what they're doing. It's all projection, Kevin says. That's exactly right. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but I just saw it. What is this field, or what field is this? Sorry, I don't know where you were when I, what time was that? 44 or 8:43. Okay, so I'm a little behind. I'll tell you now where we are. We're on Hancock Avenue. We're in the Union lines. We're riding along. These guns here are batteries from McGilvery's artillery brigade. And they're pointing towards the Confederates off to the left. Up ahead is the, well, to the right is the New York Auxiliary Monument, and straight up ahead is the Pennsylvania Monument. And we are heading towards the Angle. Oh, you were asking when we were at Pickett's Charge. Sorry, hello to all and JD. What, JD isn't part of all? Poor JD. Barbara says it's not close enough to her to get down here for the park. Where are you living, Barbara? I thought you were in New Jersey. Eric says Saturday was a good day to drive around the battlefield. Not a lot of people out. I took my dad around for a tour. Saturday was also really warm, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. It was a beautiful day. We did 2 shows. One with Alan Thompson, author of In the Shadow of the Round Tops. As far as Gettysburg books go, I think that was the one that made the biggest, got the biggest buzz this year, because it is a hot take on the countermarch and Johnston's reconnaissance and other reconnaissance. Very interesting. Alan is a lawyer, and so he approached it as a lawyer, and I like that. I like when someone with a different discipline dives into history and approaches it as such, or in such a manner, and that's what he did there. So we had an interesting conversation there. By the way, it's part of the fall preview season, which is ending soon, and it's available for free on YouTube if you want to go watch it now. It will be exclusively for first lieutenants on January 1st, so you got about a month to watch it. And then we recorded an Ask a Guide with Tim Pierce, a licensed battlefield guide, on for the first time. Long-time listener, first-time guest, and he did Robinson's division. McNair, it was nice to finally meet you and your lovely lady there. I went home and I told Cindy, I said, guess what? And she said, what? And I said, I met McNair. And she's like, you did? And I said, yes, I did. And once I saw him, then I remembered where he was at the campfire. And so everything came together. Everything came together. So I was McNaired in person. And it was a completely accidental McNairing, too. I mean, I was we were leaving the studio, walking up the alley to get to Baltimore Street so that we can go down to Gettysburg Bacon Company for a delicious lunch. And, this couple walks past on the sidewalk, and then the guy dips back, pops in, and he goes, "Matt?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said his real name. I'm not going to say what it is. And it didn't dawn on me right away, because he told me his real name in an email. But I meet so many people, and a lot of people have the same name, and so, it kind of takes a while. And we're standing there talking, and then I realized, oh shit, this is McNair. I'm talking to McNair. So I'm like, "McNair!" And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Oh my God, it's so cool to meet you." I wonder how many people are excited to meet one of their trolls. I don't know if I've ever heard that before, but I was excited to meet McNair. And of course his lady had McNair, what's her name? I don't want to keep saying his lady like she's your property. I know she told me her name, but I forgot it. Anyway, she didn't know what was going on, and so we kind of explained it to her, and she got a kick out of it. So yeah, I got to meet McNair, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll tell you, his bark is bigger than his bite. Exit 5 on the turnpike. All right, so you're down there, South Jersey. That's not too far, is it? Was it 3 hours, 2.5 hours? Good morning, Mark. How are you? Kevin says, just watching the amount of territory you covered, I see how big the battlefield is. Yeah, and that's the park. Well, I'm covering both battlefield and park. And you may be saying to yourself, what do you mean? Battlefield and park? Is not the park the battlefield? It is, but there is more battlefield that has not been preserved by the National Park Service, by the federal government. Little by little, every once in a while gets added, but there's more battlefield than there. Well, there's more battlefield to be preserved. But the bulk of everything, I think, I could be wrong on this one, but I think the bulk of the battlefield has been preserved. I don't think there is much more. I mean, there's a lot. It depends on what you call battlefield, too. That's the other thing. To me, if a shot was fired, well, not a shot, but several shots were fired and exchanged between enemies, then that's battlefield. Even if it was a small skirmish. Like, there's a couple of miles of properties from McPherson's Ridge out to the first shot marker that, I mean, to me, are battlefield. And it's a shame that they weren't preserved. But they weren't preserved. So we got to live with that. All right? All right. So there we go. Ghost of Sickles Leg says McNair and Matt could make a movie together and call it Brokeback Mountain. That's funny. That is funny. You're funny, Ghost, but looks aren't everything. Kevin says, Gene, I ordered the book during the show. Where'd you order it from? Yeah, that's the other thing. Thank you guys very much. Because I was seeing in the comments section, in fact, I read it at the end of the show, a lot of you ordered the book while watching the show, which I guess, I know people tell me that, I listened to such and such an interview and I bought the book. So I would imagine, I guess, when we do things normally and we're not doing them live, we put a show out, you buy the book. But I don't know yet if I've had as many comments saying we bought the book while watching this, and that made Alan feel real good, and so thank you for that. It's always nice to make the guests feel good. Because you got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let you in on something here. And I don't care who denies it, they're lying. If they deny it, they're lying. People who produce something, and they don't necessarily have to be creative types, but anybody who creates something, a book, a podcast, a video, a painting, a drawing, whatever it is, even if it's a history, it's something you pour your blood and guts into, and you agonize over it for months or years, and you revise it, and there's parts that you have in there, but for brevity's sake, you have to take out. They call it killing your babies, and it very much feels like that they don't call it that to be outrageous. They call it that because that's what it feels like. You know, you work so hard at something, and you film it, you put it out there, and then for the sake of time, you have to cut it out, and it's like the feeling of killing your babies. It is a gut-wrenching feeling until you get used to it and you realize, all right, this is just how it works. But even still, there's some along the way where you're like, oh, that's a tough one to get rid of. Anyway, so when you go on a show, especially when you have a live audience and you're doing an interview, that's kind of nerve-wracking because, again, there could be McNairs out there. And, you know, as much as we say we laugh at McNairs, the initial response for everybody is a sting. And I don't care how long you've been doing it, you're still a human being, it stings. And when somebody insults your work when they've done nothing of the kind, you want to rip their face off because they know not what they do. But then you have to remember, they know not what they do. And those who do know what they do, they're just assholes. You don't want to know them anyway. So that's good. I like to see comments like that for the guests because, you know, even though he's been getting really good reviews for it, I'm sure he still has a little bit of that insecurity. It's like, this is my baby that I've just put out into the world. Please be kind. And but you don't want to do that because then that's an invitation for people to try to rip you a new one. So you just sit there and you hold your breath and you hope that things go well. So you guys are a great audience. My guests know that. They tell me that all the time because some of you reach out to them or some of you meet them somewhere, and they appreciate your support and encouragement and kind words, and I appreciate that because of course that reflects on me, and they tell me this, and they're happy to come on because of you guys. So thank you a million times over. IP2 always wins. This is a rerun. Yeah, we don't do live drives anymore. We just rerun the same one over and over again. Looks like they're painting the fence around the cemetery. And we've got some people in the road here. We're going to stop for them so we don't run them over. You don't want to run people over with your car. If I could give any advice to new drivers, it would be don't run people over with your car, even as a joke, because it's not that funny. Now, okay, IP2 says hit those people for 10 points. In New Jersey, that's totally valid. You can hit people and you get points. And I think if you hit 1,000 points, I think they make you mayor of a small town in New Jersey. But that's New Jersey. The rest of the country is a little bit more sane and respects other people a little bit better. A little bit. So, yeah, you don't want to be doing that anywhere else. By the way, that is a joke. So anybody driving in New Jersey thinks that's true and you go to run somebody over, that's crazy. All right. I'm just going back here to see. Okay, Brokeback Round Top. That's where we left off. Ty says they say never meet your trolls, Matt. I actually like meeting my trolls because when they look you in the eye and they see Diana, thank you, and they see a human being, they tend to be less of a troll and actually kind of embarrassed that they're such assholes. Michael says, by God, Martin Sheen better come to Gettysburg, by God. I agree. Kevin says, Kevin, Park is 25 square miles approximately. Don't recall how many miles of roads. Kevin, it's 25 miles of roads, 6,000 acres. I don't know the square mileage of the park, but I think that's what you're thinking there. McNair says, thanks for being a good sport and not kicking my ass. No problem. Yeah, I would say probably 3 hours, but more because I have to stop a lot to use the bathroom, says Barbara. Yeah, me too, Barbara. I can't do the long trips anymore. I got to stop drinking water while I drive. McNair says, I think the Letterman site should be preserved. At least that's what's left of it. Yeah, I do too. I don't know why there isn't more of a movement to preserve that. I kind of get a feeling that the preservation community just figures, well, that whole area out there is just destroyed anyway, so what's the point? Which, that may be projection on my part. I don't know. Eric says, Michael, I heard Martin Sheen will be at the Christmas party. That's right, he will. Chris says, over a decade ago, I did some work on the Letterman property as it was slated to become a Target. Can you imagine? At the time, it was a mobile home park. Jumpmaster says, I'd recommend Wittenberg's if we're striking for Pennsylvania, the 2-volume series. Very much the new Coddington. Yeah, I got to get a hold of that, actually. When asked if he was attending, Martin Sheen responded, there's no time. Good morning, IP. Jump, that is excellent. Blah, blah, blah. Eric says, for the historian told me they can tell war books you talk about on the show because they usually sell a bunch soon after. Yeah, they told me that too. That's nice. It's like Oprah's book club, except that when you read our books, it makes you smart. Ty says, you need a sticker. Oh, there you go. Like Oprah's book club. The Kamala Buffalo Book Club seal of approval. That's a great one. I think I'll do that. And the seal is just, like Cam smiling in earnest into the camera. Jumpmaster. Yeah, Kevin, I always neglect Mingus when I mention it. That's not really cool, even though Wittenberg has become a favorite author. Nice long old style drive this morning. Yes, I missed it. I missed it indeed. Let's see here. Hold on. IP. Suddenly, IP, I don't know who you are, but you're very enthusiastic today. Let's slow down. Nice beatboxing, he says. Did I do that? Are you taking us inside with you? No, I don't usually do that. Do some street interviews. I'll do that someday. I just bought a new camera and it cost me $3,000. So I am going to use the hell out of that thing once I find someone who can hold it. And I'm going to do some street interviews. McNair says, now I feel bad even more. Thanks for not ripping my face off the other day. Why do you feel bad even more? What did I say? Oh, because of how these are people's babies and you people don't realize. Well, that's the thing. When you get things for free, you don't value them. So when you listen to a show for free, it doesn't have any value to you. So of course it takes nothing for you to insult it. And, okay, what the let's see. We're going to remove, and we're going to report. All right, there we go. All right, okay, this is, there we go, hide user on this channel. there. Hold on, there's some nastiness going on in here that I have to block. All right. Okay, yeah, really, talk about trolls. All right, I think I blocked and removed them. Good God in heaven. Okay. So, catching up here. Sorry. Okay, Necky, you're going too. Wow, there's, it's like a lot of lost causers are in here now. And hide user. Wow, okay, there we go. Sorry, there's, that troll would likely be you unconscious or master. Okay, you need a wrench to get rid of that troll. Love Angel Coffee, I'd like a shot. Alright, what are you going to use for street interviews? What am I going to use camera-wise? I have a Canon, what is it, XA70? And then, a microphone. Oh, what app am I going to use? I'm not. I'm going to record them ahead of time and then edit them and put them up on YouTube. Yeah, I think I got the nasty. Yeah, I reported, I removed. Yeah, get these First Amendment supporters out of here. Ban these. Okay, wow, there's like a... Alright, let's see here. Trolls are definitely out in force this morning. See, this is why I prefer things behind a pay sign. All right, let me know if you see any other comments there that need to go. All right, so I think they've all, well, no, there's 50 people in here. We usually don't get 50 people, so there's probably more waiting. Anyway, regardless of that, I am going to get some coffee because it's time for coffee. Up, here we go. They're starting again. This is great. Wow. Hide user from channel. All right. Yeah, Nick, Gary says the block button is his favorite. Never had to use it before. No, I don't think it's a bot. I think these are people. Heinous and I have no idea. But this is fun to hit block. It is, Gary's right, it is fun. And they're also really helping with the algorithm, which is nice. It's very kind of them. Sorry, I'm just enjoying myself going through here. Well, they're certainly ambitious. That's funny. What's the motive? Is this the work of addressing Antietam? No. I know who it is. This is fascinating. I'm helping, I appreciate the help with, all the comments, because that makes the algorithm notice it more. Yeah, that's what's fun about it. I think we're up to 14 now. Changes his name. This is great. This is the most excitement I've had for a long time. Ashley says, my husband and I watched Spirited with Will Ferrell last night, and there's a joke that saying good afternoon was like saying F you in Victorian times. Just tell them good afternoon. Ah, yeah. Well, anyway, I got to get coffee because I've got, Gemma, are you real? I've never seen you before. You're probably, I don't know what the hell you are. Anyway, I got to get going. I got to get coffee. I got some work to do. You guys have yourselves a great day. And don't forget, tomorrow is the day after today. Talk to you later.